There's a feeling that some men know, but they cannot name. You're in a conversation with someone close to you, someone you love, someone whose words carry weight, and something shifts. They say something that does not match what happened. And you think, wait, that's not what I said. That's not what I saw. That's not what I heard. That's not how I remember it. And it just happened now. We're not talking about something that happened 3 months ago. It happened now. But then they say it with such certainty that you start to wonder, maybe I did get it wrong. Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I misread the whole thing. Maybe I should just stop talking. This is not a small thing, because when it happens again and again, a man can start losing trust in his own footing. Not all at once, quietly. He starts second guessing what he saw, what he heard, what he felt, what he knows happened, what he is allowed to say. And the hardest part is not only the confusion, it is that nobody asks what it costs to keep showing up steady when the ground underneath you keeps moving. You are supposed to be the calm one, the stable one, the one who does not make it worse. So you hold it in. You go quiet. You try again tomorrow. But somewhere inside all of that, you can start losing your footing. Not only in the situation, in yourself. If you're new here, welcome to Silent But Standing. My name is David. I was born and raised in New York City, and today I live in Israel. I created this channel for Jewish men who are carrying quiet battles that are very painful, especially inside of complicated, toxic relationships. Men who are still trying to stay connected to Hashem with dignity and truth. This is not about revenge or blame or public accusations, just Torah-based chizuk, clarity, and the next right step. And I want to be very careful here. What I'm sharing with you is simply meant to be chizuk and Torah perspective. This is not therapy. This is not legal advice. This is not rabbinic ruling. And it's certainly not crisis guidance. I do not know your private situation. If something serious is happening in your life, please speak privately with a trusted, qualified professional who understands your situation. Here, we are looking at one Torah word that can help a man stay grounded when things feel charged and confusing. That word is Hineni. Usually translated as, here I am. But Hineni is more than geography. It is not a performance of strength. It is not, I'm fine. I have this handled. Nothing is affecting me. Hineni is something quieter and more powerful. It is a statement of presence. I am here. I know where I am. I have not abandoned myself. I am still standing before Hashem. There are 3 moments in Tanach that help us understand this. Avraham at the Akedah, Yaakov on his way down to Mitzrayim, and Shmuel as a young boy hearing his name called in the night. None of these moments are comfortable. They are not neat. They are not easy. They are not emotionally simple. And that is exactly why they matter. Because Hineni does not appear only when life feels calm. Sometimes Hineni is what a man says when he stands amid uncertainty in the middle of a tornado and still refuses to disappear. The first moment is Avraham Avinu. There is a pasuk in Breshit, Perek Kavbet, pasuk Aleph. Vayehi achar hadvarim ha'ele, va'elokim nisa et Avraham, vayomer elav Avraham, vayomer Hineni. Hashem calls to Avraham, and Avraham answers, Hineni, here I am. Notice something. Avraham says Hineni before he knows what Hashem will ask of him. He does not yet know what the command is about. He does not yet know the Akedah is coming. He does not yet understand what this moment will demand of him. He only knows one thing. He is present. That matters. Because a lot of men carry a belief that sounds like this. If I do not understand what is happening, I cannot trust myself. The confusion starts to feel like evidence. Like, if you cannot make sense of the situation, maybe your perception is broken. Maybe your read on things cannot be trusted. Maybe you need to wait until everything is perfectly clear before you're allowed to stand anywhere. But Avraham shows something different. Clarity about who you are does not always require clarity about everything happening around you. Those are two separate things. You may not understand the whole situation yet. You may not know what someone meant. You may not know what comes next. You may not know how to explain it cleanly, but you can still come back to one grounded sentence. I am here. I am not running from what I just saw. I am not pretending I feel nothing. I am not making a dramatic decision from panic. I am just here. So when confusion hits, do not start with, what does this all mean? Start smaller. Ask, where am I right now? What do I actually know? What did I observe before the conversation started changing shape? What am I feeling before I explain it away? That is footing. That is Hineni. The second moment is Yaakov Avinu. There is a pasuk in Breshit, Perek Mem Vav, pasuk Bet. Vayomer Elohim li Yisrael b'mer'ot halayla, vayomer Yaakov Yaakov, vayomer Hineni. Hashem calls to Yaakov in visions of the night. And Yaakov answers, Hineni, here I am. This is when he's on his way down to Mitzrayim. And if you know the story, you know that Mitzrayim eventually becomes exile, bondage, generations of suffering. Yaakov is walking towards something enormous. And Hashem tells him not to fear going down to Mitzrayim. That tells you something. There was fear in the room. Yaakov does not answer Hineni because he feels nothing. He answers Hineni while fear is still present. That is important for a man who is thinking, if I feel afraid, something must be wrong with me. If I feel unsettled, I must not have emunah. If I feel confused, I must be weak. No. Fear and groundedness can live in the same man at the same moment. Hineni is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to be consumed by fear. It is the ability to say, I am afraid and I am still here. I am unsettled and I am still connected to Hashem. I do not have all of the answers and I am not going to abandon my own neshama inside this confusion. That is not weakness. That is a very honest kind of strength. So when you feel charged, unsettled, or afraid, do not rush to shame yourself. Name it quietly. I feel afraid. I feel confused. I feel small. I feel like I am losing myself in this situation. That is not the end of the work. That is the beginning of staying honest. Because when a feeling stays unnamed, It often starts driving the car, but when you name it clearly, you can hold it before Hashem without letting it make the next decision for you. That is Hineni, not fake calm, real presence. The third moment might land the hardest. Shmuel is a young boy in the Mishkan. He hears his name called in the night. There is a pasuk in Shmuel Aleph, Perek Gimel, pasuk Daled. Vayikra Hashem el Shmuel, vayomer Hineni. Hashem calls to Shmuel, and Shmuel says, Hineni, here I am. Then Shmuel runs to Eli and says, here I am, because you called me. Eli says, he did not call him. Shmuel goes back, and it happens again and again. Now, we need to be careful with the text. Eli is not attacking Shmuel. He is not trying to confuse him. But from Shmuel's side, there is still a deep human experience here. He heard something real, but he did not yet understand where it was coming from. That is the point. Sometimes the problem is not that you imagined something. Sometimes the problem is that you do not yet have the framework to understand what you noticed. You saw something. You felt something shift. You heard something that did not sit right. You noticed a pattern. But when you tried to name it, the response made you doubt yourself. So now you're stuck. Was it real? Did I misread it? Am I making too much of this? Why can I not explain it clearly? Shmuel teaches something powerful here. Not every real perception comes with immediate clarity. Sometimes you hear something true before you know what it means. That is why a man has to be careful not to throw away his first perception just because he cannot fully explain it yet. Do not weaponize it. Do not turn it into an accusation. Do not decide the whole story from one moment. But do not erase it either. Write it down privately, not to build a case, not to prepare an attack, not to prove somebody else wrong, just to protect your original observation before the conversation around it changes its shape. Write down, this is what I observed. Then this is what I felt. Then this is what I do not yet understand. That last sentence matters. Because clarity does not require pretending that you know everything. Sometimes clarity begins with admitting, something happened here. I do not fully understand it yet. But I am not going to lie to myself and say I noticed nothing. That is Hineni. Once a day, before davening or before you go to sleep, say one quiet Hineni to Hashem. Out loud if you can, in your head if you cannot. Something simple. Rabbono shel olam, Hineni. Here I am. This is what I observed today. This is what I felt. This is what I do not understand yet. Please help me stay honest without becoming difficult or stubborn. Please help me stay calm without disappearing. Please help me take the next right step with wisdom. That's not being dramatic. That is not a speech. That is not solving your whole life. It is just a way of staying located inside your own life. It keeps the line open between you and Hashem on the days when everything feels loud and confusing. And maybe that is what you need today. Not to win the argument, not to fix the whole pattern, not to force someone to understand what you are carrying, just to stay present to yourself, to Hashem, to what is true, because you may not be able to stop the noise around you, but you can refuse to lose yourself inside of it. You can say, I am confused and I am still here. I am afraid and I am still here. I do not have all of the answers and I am still standing before Hashem. Hineni. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. No private details, no names, no stories that you're not ready to share. Just comment, Hineni. One word is enough. And if this is the kind of Torah-based that you need, subscribe to Silent But Standing. This channel is for Jewish men carrying quiet battles and trying to walk through them with emunah, with clarity and dignity. It's not about attacking anyone. No accusations against anyone. No revenge. Just truth, chizuk, and the next right step. You may be silent, but you are still standing.